Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button, also subscribe to the channel. Now I'm still out here in Vegas. It was a fight weekend. Canelo versus Chavez Jr. Didn't really deliver the type of action and drama most people expected, but it is what it is. At least we got a pleasant surprise after. Canelo versus Golovkin is official for September 16th. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe. I don't know if I said that, but I want to talk about comments from a really great future Hall of Fame trainer. That's Nacho BERISTAIN, longtime trainer of Juan Manuel Marquez. He's also trained Oscar de la Hoya at a point in time. He's trained Ricardo Finito Lopez, and he was brought in for this particular camp along with Angel Mimo Heredia, and I'm sure Chavez Sr. had his 2 cents, but he was brought in as the head trainer. And needless to say, Chavez's performance was abysmal. Like, I mean, anyone watch it, it was very easy to score. I told you guys on Twitter yesterday, that was one of the easiest fights I've had to score, especially 2017. We had some really good fights. Joshua Klitschko, we had even the Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. That wasn't the greatest fight, but it was certainly more competitive than this, right? There's just been a ton of fights, Berto, Porter, and we had some good fights, Leo Santa Cruz, Carl Frampton, different things like that. And Chavez, he put up a dud. That's really what it boils down to. Now, Nacho BERISTAIN spoke to ESPN Deportes, and he says, and I quote, "It was really negative, everything, totally. We did not win a round. It is not possible to cover the sun with a finger. Canelo Alvarez is simply better technically speaking. I asked him to throw punches, simply to throw punches, but he was afraid to throw a jab or a certain combination because he knew that 3 or 4 punches would come back in return. And those doubts were born in his head real early, and they stayed with him for the entire fight. I don't blame the fans for being frustrated with the performance, with Chavez Jr.'s performance. They are quite right in feeling that way, and I feel the same way too. And he must also be frustrated, his father too, everyone. He should apply himself and he should behave like a boxing pro, and success will come to him." Beautiful. You know, I don't even have to make this video too long. Nacho BERISTAIN, he is a G. He's a legend in the game, and I have the utmost respect for him. Very no-nonsense, man's man type of trainer, and he doesn't take any kind of BS. He calls it how he sees. And I've respected Nacho for a while. I mean, obviously his work with Marquez and the Pacquiao, and finally getting one of the fights to go the Marquez way, right? But even beyond that, I respect boxing fans, trainers, boxers, but I really respect the people who keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Like I always tell you, I've been telling you since January, tell the truth. Tell the truth, right? And he's not making a bunch of excuses. He's saying what I told you guys in my post-fight. Well, actually, I didn't even do a post-fight because it wasn't even worth it. But I did do a video talking about the Canelo Golovkin fight, and I kind of went over some things. He didn't win a single round, and that's how I had it on my scorecard. And most people had it that way. And I respect Nacho because he always, from what I've seen, he oftentimes, even if it's not on his side's favor, he'll be honest. And he'll be honest to the public. That's rare. We got a lot of trainers, a lot of great trainers, good trainers, right? Fighters and stuff, and they won't keep it real. Like, you know what I mean? They'll say, "Oh, my guy's indestructible. No one could beat him. And this guy's nothing. I'll bet my house," and all this type of stuff. But they're not really going to be real. From what I've seen, Nacho BERISTAIN is one of those throwback trainers. He's clearly a little bit older than some of the other trainers, and I don't really think he cares about being in the spotlight. You have in this modern age of boxing, you have some trainers who it seems like they're more in the spotlight than their fighter, and they love being behind the camera, and they love the exposure. So I mean, success is a drug, fame is a drug. So I mean, to a degree, I understand it. Like when I went to the Box Fan Expo yesterday, and people are like, "Oh, Ego, can I take a picture?" I mean, it's a good feeling. It's just good to see people recognizing you for your work. So I'm not knocking it, but sometimes it gets out of hand where they're not even realistic or respectful to opponents or the sport by some of the comments that come out of their mouth, which is what I'm trying to say. And I haven't really seen that with Nacho. I remember distinctly Floyd Mayweather off a 21-month layoff. He came back and waxed Marquez plus a knockdown. Juan Manuel Marquez didn't really even win a round, and he also got knocked down. Some people say, oh, it's because Floyd came in heavy. You never heard Nacho make these same excuses that the fans make, because Marquez was the one that called Floyd out. He said, I've been pushing for a Pacquiao rematch. They're saying he's #1, and Mayweather's retired, so Pacquiao don't want to rematch me. I'll fight him. This was after Marquez beat Juan Diaz. And he called Floyd out, so don't start none, won't be none. He called that man out of retirement. Floyd obliged him. He did come in and pay a fine, but if you look at Floyd's style, his style is not really indicative of using weight as an advantage. Some people even say he runs. So if you're running, then you're not leaning. It's not like Klitschko, who, when he fights smaller guys, 6'1", 6'2" guys, he leans his body weight, and he leans on them and pushes their head down, clinches, you know what I mean, and kind of uses his strength and his size to create something for them to endure. Floyd doesn't really fight like that. He was on his toes, defense was sharp as hell, and you never really heard, I didn't even think I heard Marquez really make a bunch of excuses, but I definitely didn't hear Nacho make excuses for it. He said Floyd is the baddest on the planet, and you need a baseball bat to beat him. You know what I mean? You have to have a game plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because one game plan is not going to work against Floyd. He's very skilled, and he handles business. He's from out of this world. He's not from this galaxy. Those are me paraphrasing very closely to what Nacho BERISTAIN said about Floyd Mayweather. Again, look in the comment section on YouTube video. It's because Floyd was heavy and this and that, but the own trainer's not saying that. And same thing here. Canelo, I don't understand what it is. You can't. He's fighting Golovkin, so you can gripe and complain about him giving up his belt, but that's a thing of the past. I'm done with the blame game. I'm just happy we're getting the fight, and you can't complain. Chavez called him out at 165. They pushed it and made him drop another ½ pound from what Chavez said he could make. They both weighed in the night before, made weight 164, and Chavez couldn't perform. Canelo could, so you can't take nothing away from that man. He's young. He's 26 or whatever age Canelo is, and he pieced up Chavez every single round. I respect Nacho for just being real. Tell the truth. He didn't even make no excuses. I mean, even Chavez Jr., he's saying things like, oh, but Gennady Golovkin hits harder than Canelo. That just kind of sounds like poor sportsmanship a little bit. You know what I mean? When you're like saying, oh, Canelo's good, but Sergio Martinez is better, or Golovkin hits harder. But I mean, realistically speaking, even if you feel Sergio's better, I mean, you hurt Sergio and you really did nothing with Canelo. You know what I mean? So it just sounds like sour grapes when you got to just take your lumps like a man. You know what I'm saying? And if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you come up short, you come up short. But it was definitely not a good performance. Definitely wasn't. I don't think he was even a good pay-per-view card. I thought other fights, Jojo Diaz versus Manuel Tino Avila, I thought that would be deliver more action. And the other fights, David Lemieux, Lucas Matisse, they were the clear favorites. They were hard hitters. So I expected those outcomes. You know what I mean? Only thing that kind of surprised me is that Lemieux was cracking Marcos Reyes with disgusting shots and uppercuts that had sweat flying off his head, and that he lasted. I thought he would probably get stopped because he just got stopped by a lesser known fighter in 2 fights ago. You know what I mean? 1 or 2 fights ago. So that's the only real surprise. But pretty much everyone that was supposed to win won. And I respect Nacho for not making any excuses and not saying this. He's bottom line, Canelo was technically better. And that's what I seen. Canelo is technically better. And we all knew that. The thing that was interesting to me about this fight was if Chavez makes weight comfortably and fights how he's always fought, then I think that fight could have been different. But the fact of the matter is, for whatever reason, Chavez Jr., he got gun shy and he didn't fight anything like he's fought in his past fights. So you can accredit part of it to the weight. You can say it's because of Canelo's skill. I mean, it's probably a culmination of different things, but it's boxing. There are no excuses. You either win, you lose, or you draw. And to me, that looked like Canelo versus Angulo 2.0. It was the same type of fight. Canelo came out. He showed Chavez more respect in round 1, but he was still confident. But round 2, he started unloading. You can tell Canelo's seasoned. You know what I mean? And in the Angulo fight, when he fought El Perro Angulo, he came out really fast in round 1 and started beating the brakes off of Angulo, right? So very similar situation, except Chavez Jr. being a bit bigger and Canelo moving up 10.5 pounds. Chavez went the distance, whereas Angulo got stopped late. So Canelo's, he's talented and he's just getting better. Golovkin is next. I'm excited. I respect Nacho for just being honest with boxing fans, because like I said, with trainers nowadays, that's kind of rare. Sometimes that, like, even if they don't feel their fighter win, who's gonna say that? You know what I mean? Like, what if Abel Sanchez, for example, and this is just a random name, but let's say he thought Danny Jacobs won by a round or 2. He's not gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? Because they gave it to his guy, and that's what it is. So he's gonna be like, yeah, my guy won fair and square. And that's how a lot of trainers are. You know what I mean? So you can say it's their allegiance, but Nacho, he keeps it real. And I mean, to a degree, he doesn't really have anywhere else to go, because it was such a bad performance by Chavez Jr. He'd be crazy, or he'd be viewed as crazy if he was like, oh yeah, we won 4 rounds. You know what I mean? You can't even really make that case. But just knowing Nacho's history, I don't think no matter what, even if it was slightly more competitive, he would have I think he would have been honest with the public, and I respect that. Let me know your thoughts. What could Chavez have done, or was it inevitable? And what do you think of Canelo versus Golovkin, the fight we all want to see? Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.